Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everybody, wherever you are around the world, and welcome to the Kumho TCR World Tour and TCR South America Banco BRB Round 9 here at the Pinar circuit in Uruguay. We have hit race day, the big time, the time when 30 drivers will take to this beautiful, short and incredibly high-speed circuit in a 25-minute plus one lap race in a bid to win the first race of our Uruguayan double header here this weekend. It is my absolute pleasure to welcome you all to this broadcast. Thank you for tuning in. And we are set for a very entertaining race indeed. As I say, qualification saw 30 cars, the 9 Kumho TCR World Tour drivers, the 21 TCR South America Banco BRB stars take to this circuit. What was a frenetic qualification session. We had some incredible performances from our TCR South America contingent, not least of which was Juan Manuel Casella in the number 60 Honda, 7th position on the grid. A fantastic result for Casella, leading the contingent from TCR South America. Ignacio Montenegro, 11th position, the championship leader as well, just outside of the top 10 for both races this weekend. And remember, race 2 will follow on very quickly on the heels of this race. It is 9 a.m. local time, 1400 CEST, and race 2 will take place at 12:45 local, 17:45 CEST on the TCR TV app and TCR TV on YouTube. The entry list is stacked with talent, as is always the case in the Kumho TCR World Tour. Our 9 returning drivers headed by championship leader Jan Elishay. And then for TCR South America, we've got the championship leader Ignacio Montenegro, 15th there on the entry list, the reigning champion. We also have, taking part in this race, we've got Uruguayan talent, headed by Juan Manuel Casella, who we say 7th position on the grid. Fantastic qualifying result for Casella. Esteban Gurriere in a Toyota, coming back to TCR competition following a short spell in the World Endurance Championship. But let's head down now to the grid. Santiago Urrutia there, the home hero, on pole position after a dynamite qualification. Urrutia has been on superb form all weekend long. Really, really good performance. And in fact, I think we're going to go and have a quick word with our pole sitter for this opening race of the weekend. So let's go down now to Santiago Urrutia and see what his thoughts are ahead of what should be a very intense race indeed. In fact, I'm just hearing in my ear that he's that focused on the race ahead that he doesn't want to speak to the camera at this moment in time. So we'll try again in a few moments, or see if we can find somebody else. Look at the focus in the eyes. It's been fascinating to see how the crowd have reacted to Santiago this weekend. Every time I've been to see him to do a piece to camera or just to have a chat, he's had fans wanting selfies, wanting autographs, young kids coming up to him, old and young. He is very much the star of the show here in Uruguay. Local driver leading the World Tour contingent this weekend. Very much all eyes focused on Santiago Urrutia there for the Cyan Racing Lincoln Co machine. In free practice, 2nd position in free practice 1, fastest in free practice 2 by quite a margin indeed. Then heading in to our split qualification session that we had yesterday, headed his group by a significant way, came in to qualification and just beat Ted Bjork, teammate Ted Bjork, over the line to make it a Cyan Racing Lincoln Co 1-2. But interestingly, Jan Elishay and Ma Qinghua, 9th and 10th, will be on pole and 2nd position for our race this afternoon. Great piece of performance from the Lincoln Co Racing team here this weekend. And as I say, headed up my home hero, Santiago Urrutia. A sellout crowd here at the Pinar circuit, all looking for their driver, and the TCR South America stars as well, headed by Juan Manuel Casella, another Uruguayan driver in 7th position. So qualification was a good day for the local heroes, but now is race day and it's a different story altogether. Rob Huff, one of the drivers that will be looking for a good performance today, 6th on the grid in the Comtu Racing Audi. He's been strong all weekend long, adapted well to this circuit. He'll be hoping for a good result today and a good result this afternoon as well in the 2nd race of the weekend, rounds 10 and 11 of the Kumho TCR World Tour. Mikel Azcona, one of our drivers that's had a more challenging, I think it's fair to say, start to the season than he would have liked. He's still third in the Kumho TCR World Tour standings. He needs a big result. He needs to beat that man, Jan Elishay, behind him. Elishay leading the TCR World Tour ranking at this moment in time. But of course, anything can happen in the world of motor racing, and it usually does. So Elishay will be hoping for a solid race 1 result, keep the car in good condition, make sure he can get out there and start in second on the grid behind teammate Marcin Hua this afternoon. Is a big opportunity for Jan Elishay to add yet another victory to his rapidly growing trophy collection. In the World Tour, Norbert Michaelis has scored 2 race victories alongside Jan Elishay scoring 2. Santiago Routier already taken a victory, as has John Philippi, Rob Huff and Ted Bjork. For South America, Ignacio Montenegro is the standout driver with 4 race wins. Rafael Suzuki and Osman have a victory apiece in that championship. So the car's coming off the formation lap now. Bit of a heads up, we'll be doing 2 formation laps. Race control have decided 2 formation laps for these drivers to understand exactly where we stand in the overall conditions of the circuit. And here is the grid. Santiago Routier is the man on pole position from Ted Bjork. Nestor Girolami third in the Honda ahead of Norbert Michaelis, with Frederick Vervies starting in 5th position. Rob Huff is 6th ahead of Juan Manuel Casella in 7th, Mikel Azcona in 8th, Jan Elishay 9th and Marcin Hua rounding out the top 10. 11th position, Ignacio Montenegro ahead of Esteban Gurrieri in the Toyota Juan Angel Rosso is 13th from Khalid Osman in position number 14. 15th, Rafael Suzuki from Frederick Balbi. Rafael Race in 17th. In 18th position, we have Bernardo Java. In 19th, Fabian Iannatone. 20th, Pedro Cardozo. Diego Nunes in 21st, Enrique Maglione 22nd, Carlos Silva 23rd, Fabrizio Pizzini, the reigning champion, in 24th, Adalberto Baptista 25th, Manuel Sapag in 26th, Fabio Casagrande in 27th, 28th will be Gonzalo Riley in a number 35 Peugeot machine. That is our grid so far. 2 formation laps of the short El Pinar circuit here in Uruguay. We've had some horrendous weather, it has to be said, this weekend. Really wet conditions greeting the field as we arrived at the circuit on Wednesday. Thursday, the circuit required significant amount of work to get the water cleared, to clear up the surrounding areas of the track as well. Friday, a little bit damp for the shakedown and the free practice sessions, and then beautiful, dry but windy conditions yesterday for qualification. This morning, 9 a.m. local time, the temperature is almost sub-zero. Significant amount of wind out there as well for the drivers to contend with, but thankfully the rain overnight has abated. The circuit is greasy, but it is dry conditions, slick tyres from all of our drivers, but grip will be at an absolute premium for these drivers, hence the reason we're looking at 2 formation laps. It's the first opportunity for the field here in the Kumho TCR World Tour and TCR South America Banco BRB field to understand what the track conditions are like, where the grip can be found, where the dust is on and offline as well. Important learning for these drivers ahead of the standing start and the 25 minutes plus 1 lap race that we're about to engage with in a few moments' time. Fantastic to see such a strong contingent of cars here this weekend, and a big shout out to the TCR South America field. It's been incredibly impressive to see the level of quality and preparation of these cars and drivers. Teams like the Squadra Martino team, the Toyota Gazoo Argentina, to name just 2, Palladini Racing as well. The preparation of these cars, they look absolutely fantastic. The drivers are incredibly strong as well. The field, the depth of quality of the field continues to grow in what is a relatively young championship. So TCR South America so far have done themselves incredibly proud. It's been wonderful to receive the warm welcome from the organisers and the fans here down in Uruguay. They love their touring car racing, they love their motorsport, and hopefully in the next 30 minutes or so we can put on a good show for everybody trackside. It's a sellout crowd here at the circuit. We've got upwards of 20,000 spectators lining the bankings and lining the spectator areas here at this track. There's been entertainment, we've had a drift show, support series racers, live music, static displays. It really has been, despite the inhospitable weather conditions, has been a great weekend out so far for the fans, and made all the all the more enjoyable, I'm sure, by the absolutely incredible performances of the Uruguayan drivers, headed, of course, by Santiago Urrutia at the front of the field, leading the Kumho TCR World Tour field and leading the grid. And there is that man, Santiago Urrutia, now in the Cyan Racing Lincoln Co. You cannot miss that Lincoln Co. Beautiful livery, beautiful car, the Generation 2 machine. Remember, there are more Lincoln Co cars. PMO Motorsport are running some Lincoln Co's, but they're the first generation car. It is only the Cyan team that has the latest generation, the very successful new generation Diego Nunes that we're looking at there now as well. Another car that's new to the world of Kumho TCR. It's the Toyota Corolla TCR machine, a very impressive piece of hardware it is as well. Several Corollas racing in the field, some run by the Works team, some run by Palladini Racing as well. Great car. And Cobra Racing team have two Corollas too. Diego Nunes and Adalberto Batista are the drivers that are in those cars. But as you can see now, Gonzalo Riley in the orange Peugeot at the back of the field, lines up in position. The green flag will wave at the back to say that the grid is clear in a few moments' time. Round 11 of the Kumho TCR World Tour and TCR South America Banco BRB here at El Pinar will be go. The lights will go red, they will extinguish, a green flag will wave, and we will be racing in Uruguay for the first time this weekend, and away we go. Santiago Urrutia gets a good launch at the front of the field. Ted Bjork covering his teammate, making sure there's no room whatsoever for Nesta Girolami to find a way past at the front of the pack. Vervish in the mix there as well in fourth position, having another good start. Then one of the Hyundais getting swallowed up by Montenegro, I think that is, car number 60 in the Honda. One of the local drivers, contact at the rear of the field. Several cars into the dirt and gravel. We'll find out who they are in a few moments' time, but everybody winds their way through now. The first sector, I'm not seeing Riley in the Peugeot at the back of the grid. There we see Jan Elishay getting stuck in the mix as well. Marching Hua keeping a watching brief as well. There's Rob Huff in the ComTU Racing Audi to the inside, covers the line. Great bit of battling, but at the front of the field, Santiago Urrutia is the man that takes the early lead on home soil from teammate Ted Bjork. Nesta Girolami nibbling at the back of the ComTU Racing machine, but not quite enough room for the Honda driver to find a way past. Frederick Vervish in fourth position, as has been the standard for Vervish this season, in and around the top 5 places, keeping a watching brief in that ComTU Racing Audi as Girolami now looks to the outside. Ted Bjork covers the inside line. Can Girolami get the deal done on the brakes? Yes, he can. Thank you very much. That's a great pass from Bebo Girolami. A little bit of a love tap to the rear of the car as well from Ted Bjork, trying to find a way past. But Girolami immediately on his tippy toes right at the start of this race. He takes second position away, but now Bjork trying to find a way past. Frederick Vervish throws the car to the inside. This is an incredibly quick part of the racetrack. Vervish can't hold the position. He runs out wide. That opens the door a little bit for Norbit to try and find a way past as well. Vervish gets his way past Girolami. Norbert Mikelic can't find a way past. Further back, Juan Manuel Casella in 6th place as well. Good start from the Uruguayan driver in the Honda, keeping tabs with this front trio of drivers, as at the front of the field Santiago Urrutia has pulled the pin and run away from the pack. Look at that lead for 1-1-2. Santiago Urrutia is having the start of his dreams here in Uruguay. Bjork now has a little bit of a gap, it seems, from Vervish in the Audi behind, so that little squabble has undone itself. Girolami very aggressive on the opening few laps, but he's dropped back down the order now, so Girolami back in to 4th position. Juan Manuel Casella as well involved in that mix. There you can see the number 60 Honda, the white and blue and red machine, very similar livery to Nesta Girolami in front. Girolami using the new car, Casella using the previous generation Honda, and now again the Argentine driver to the outside. Can't find a way past Vervish. Vervish on the defensive. No, but Michelic decides, I want a piece of this one as well. Michelic and Girolami side by side, riding on board now with Nesta, coming into the sweeping right-hander, then into the left-hander. The car's very unstable here. Will they continue side by side? Girolami giving racing room to his rival, and Michelic has to drop back behind again. So great driving from Bebu in the early stages of this race. Bjork still heading the cork in the bottle, so to speak, in the pack behind teammate Santiago Arrutier at the front of the field. Arrutier, the fastest lap of the race, as you would expect at this stage as well. Pizzini and Baptista having a little bit of a squabble further down the running order. We've not quite found out yet who those drivers are that went off in the early running. We'll hopefully pick that one up in a few moments' time, as you're looking now at Frederik Vervisch and Casella. Vervisch and Casella. That is Casella in sixth position, trying to find his way past Norbert Mikulits. So great drive from Casella, moved at one spot off of the grid. But for company, he has got championship leader Jan Elysée behind. Will Elysée find a way past the Honda? Will he be too keen to be aggressive at this early stage? One man that is keen to be aggressive is Bebel Girolami. Looks one way, looks the other, can't find a way past the Audi. Mikulits keeping a watching brief. Rob Huff decides to get involved as well. That's Huffy finding a way past Mikel Azcona behind. So good move there from Rob Huff. Montenegro, 11th position. He's lost out to Juan Angel Rosso. So Rosso makes a good start in the Toyota up into the top 10. Great result so far for Rosso and Toyota in the early stages of this race. 20 minutes and 25 seconds left on the clock, and there is Rosso in the purple Toyota there. Just behind him he has Marcin Guarez on a disappointing start, as Mar started in 10th position, lost 2 places, down to 12. The 2 TCR South America drivers making their way past in the early running of this race. Mid-pipe now, we've still got that squabble. We can see Montenegro just dropping off the back, it seems, of Mikel Azcona. So there's a bit of a gap between Azcona and the championship leader at TCR South America. There's some kind of drama as well. That's Rafael Reis in trouble in the Cupra. So Reis having some kind of mechanical difficulties in that 77 Cupra. That'll be a big disappointment for Rafael Reis. He's one of the drivers that's very firmly in contention for the championship over in TCR South America. He's in, I'm just checking my order, 2nd position, just behind 168 points, plays 185 for Montenegro. So big drama in TCR South America. Rafael Reis looks like he's going into retirement in the next few moments. We'll ride on board with home hero Santiago Arrutier through this incredibly fast opening portion of the lap. Look how aggressive he has to be on the steering. Good grip at this moment in time for our race leader, but Arrutier needs to be careful. This is a circuit that will trip you up given half an opportunity, but the home hero feels like everything is under control in that Cyan Racing Lincoln Co. He's got an advantage now of almost 3 seconds, and the chasing Ted Bjork, Frederik Vervisch, Nestor Girolami, Norbert Mikulits, Juan Manuel Casella, Jan Elysée, Rob Huff, Mikel Azcona and Ignacio Montenegro rounding out our top 10 drivers. Good speed from Montenegro at this moment in time. Last lap around, he was almost 1 second faster than Mikel Azcona ahead. So the Honda driver, the championship leader of TCR South America, is looking to launch an attack. He's found his way past Juan Manuel Rosso and now is trying to close down the Hyundai of Mikel Azcona and get into the fight for the lower reaches of the top 10. Bebel Girolami still following the back of Frederik Vervisch's Audi, keeping the slipstream, watching what the ComTU Racing machine is capable of doing, but still no way past. And there is Jan Elysée around the outside of Montenegro at the back of your shot. Can Elysée, the Frenchman, find his way past our championship leader in TCR South America? They run side by side on the back corner, but Montenegro has the advantage back again as we're looking now. Norbert Mikulits, conscious that he's got a championship to fight for in the Kumho TCR World Tour. He's ahead of Elysée in this race, his championship rival at the front of the field, but he would dearly love to find a way past those 2 cars in front of him, as Marcin Guarez would dearly love to find a way past Rosso's Toyota. Mar down in 12th position, still not able to find a way past that Toyota, that Palladini Racing Toyota of Juan Angel Rosso, currently in that 11th position. So far, good start from Rosso in the Palladini Racing machine. Just behind those 2 as well, we can see Esteban Gurrieri, 13th place, as you were at the start of this race. Gurrieri, as I mentioned at the top of the show, returning to the world of TCR Racing for this weekend, and that is some bad damage. That is Maglione. That is Maglione's car. Heavy damage to the front of that Honda. The number 15 heading to pit lane and no doubt into retirement. Not a lot of time between these two racers, so Maglione has work and team have work to do to get that one ship-shape again and ready for our second race. It'll be held 12:45 local time. As Aleshe now to the inside, Jan Aleshe, very late deal, gets it done on Inecio Montenegro. That is a big move from the French driver. Montenegro trying to fight back almost immediately in the Honda Civic Type R. TCR, he has the inside line, but not enough of an overlap, so he'll drop behind the Cyan Link & Co racing machine. But that was a last-minute manoeuvre by Jan Aleshe, and very important for the French driver, because now he has cleared the Honda, he can have a look at finding his way up to the back of his championship rival, Norbert Michaelis, ahead as Mikel Azcona, teammate to Norby, is still charging as well behind this little pack of drivers. But Montenegro lost out that position. In fact, what's happened here? There is Aleshe, there is Casella as well. So actually, looking at the timing screens, in fact, Aleshe was on Casella, not Montenegro, my apologies. So Aleshe up into 6th position behind Michaelis. So Casella down back to 7th place where he qualified. He moved up to 6th in the opening stage of this race, lost out to Frenchman Jan Aleshe, but still a very, very good drive, leading the TCR South America standings in this race. His nearest rival, Inecio Montenegro, in 10th position. So Casella on course to win the TCR South America race here at Uruguay with 15 minutes and 15 seconds left on that clock. New fastest lap for Santiago Arruti, immediately beaten by Ted Bjork at 21.646 for Ted Bjork. But let's have a look at Mikel Azcona now. Can Azcona is sandwiched between the two South American Hondas. Azcona does not know which way to look, trying to find a way forward, trying to defend behind as well. Montenegro is the man that is in front. Azcona drops now all the way down into 9th position, so that's a difficult few corners for Spanish driver Mikel Azcona, losing out to the Hondas. There he is then in the middle of that sandwich. Azcona in 9th, Montenegro up into 8th, Casella down into 10th position. A little bit of a swapsy that we've seen around there. So Casella now starting to lose a little bit of speed compared to those around him, compared to his qualification position. Drops down into 10th place. Rob Huff sneaks his way into 7th position. He was 6th a little bit earlier on, so having a bit of a yo-yo race. And Santiago Arruti, not quite as big of a gap than he had. 2.5 seconds is the advantage on the timing screen. Looks less than that to me on the racetrack as Ted Bjork starting to recover now. Frederick Vervies once again performing heroics in the defence, keeping Bebu Girolami and Norbert Michaelis behind. Michaelis still watching, not quite ready to launch an attack at this stage, just keeping his eye on his rivals, seeing where they can be. But look at this little squabble at the back of the shot that we saw coming through the final corner there. That is Casella getting swallowed up by the pack. Santiago Arruti at the front of the field, still nice and comfortable at the head of the field, but Casella is in some trouble, it has to be said. Frederick Balbi loses a few positions further down. He drops into 17th position, so hopefully Balbi, no dramas there in the Lincoln Co number 24 machine. But look at this, easy as it comes for Santiago Arruti, a man very much on form, a man very much in the money at this moment in time. On home soil, leads the field comfortably from teammate Ted Bjork, Frederick Vervies, Bebu Girolami, Norbert Michaelis and Jan Aleshe round out those top 6 drivers. Rob Huff, Montenegro makes a good race so far, up into 8th position. He's now the head of the pack in the TCR South America field. Mikel Azcona in 9th, Juan Manuel Casella holding on to 10th position and 2nd in TCR South America. And rounding out the podium positions so far in South America is Juan Angel Rosso in the Toyota, 12th position overall so far. Around they come again, 12 minutes 30 seconds plus 1 lap on the clock. Frederick Vervies, as we've seen so many times this season, performing a defensive action. He's on the bottom step of the podium at this moment in time. Girolami, the man that we're riding on board with in the Honda Civic FL Type R. At this moment in time, he was in the podium positions up to 2nd at one stage at the start of the race. Very aggressive in the opening laps, but now he's dropped down into 4th and is trying to find a way past. It's going to be difficult to overtake on this Pinar circuit. It's not the easiest track. It's a very quick circuit, very short lap. Few opportunities if the driver ahead doesn't make a mistake. And Girolami needs to find a way past while protecting the back of the car and protecting from Norbert Michelisz. And soon, Jan Aleshay will be in this fight as well. Look at the back of the field. There is Rosso. The two Toyotas running nose to tail at the early stages of this race. Behind him, Esteban Gurrieri, and a fellow Toyota driver in the new entry for Gurrieri. He joins the Bratton Tito Bessoni team in the Toyota Corolla TCR into this competition for this weekend as a guest driver, and reacquainting himself very nicely indeed, it has to be said, is the number 86 Esteban Gurrieri, now looking to find a way past fellow Argentine driver Juan Angel Rosso. Not enough room to the inside, tries to get the switchback, tries to get the launch off of the final corner, which he seems to do quite successfully, does Gurrieri, in the blue and white machine at the back of your shot, the Palladini racing car, and Rosso on the defence as they run down into this swooping section of fast opening corners. Bernardo Java behind in 14th position, just out of shot. Rafael Suzuki in the Lincoln Co moves at one into 15th place as well. So there's three Toyotas all following closely. There is Suzuki in the PMO racing machine. He's now up into 15th position, found his way past Khalid Osman in the Cupra, the last of the Cupras, currently running on the racetrack following the dramas that we saw earlier on for Rafael Race, second place man in TCR South America Championship standings. Race is now sadly out of the race with some kind of unspecified mechanical drama, so all the pressure rests on teammate Khalid Osman's shoulders, currently in 16th position. Routier now 1.7 seconds is the lead for the Uruguayan at the front of the field. Ted Bjork, slowly but surely, is eating away to that advantage. I think Routier will be safe at this stage. I'm sure the team will play this one sensibly and take the points when they're on offer. But Santi not having quite as easy a time of it as we saw in the opening few laps. We'll keep our eye on that battle. We'll keep our eye on this battle as well. Esteban Gutierrez fighting very hard to find a way past Juan Angel Rosso. Further down the running order, there is the sole Cupra that we see of Khalid Osman in the back of the shot, the beautiful, very Brazilian-esque motor racing livery of that Cupra machine. He's currently in 16th position as Khalid Osman, having a solid drive so far in this race, staying out of trouble, getting involved in a few dramas. Rafael Suzuki recently making his way past. Again, the fight continued with Frederick Vervies still. This is the main battle at the front of the field, is the defensive action from Frederick Vervies in third position. Just behind him, Girolami, Norbert Michelisz and Jan Aleshay, slowly but surely finding his way to the rear of these squabbling cars. Aleshay, this is perfect for Frenchman Jan Aleshay. The car ahead of him, there he is, very firmly in this battle now. The car ahead, Norbert Michelisz, is his championship rival in the Kumho TCR World Tour. Aleshay will start second tomorrow, so a good drive in this first race. Has the grid spot for the afternoon event, but has had the performance in this race to close up and potentially have a nibble at the rear of his championship rival. Somebody else wanting to have a nibble is Mikel Azcona, going side by side with Ignacio Montenegro. Azcona in the BRC Hyundai N Squadra Corsa car. Can he find a way past the Squadra Martino machine of Ignacio Montenegro? Montenegro, remember, is scoring points for TCR South America, so he is invisible in terms of position for the championship, his local championship. So this is not a fight between himself and Azcona for TCR South America points. This is a fight for the TCR Kumho World Tour and World Ranking, of course, as well. Don't forget that one. All these drivers will have enhanced points for the TCR World Ranking, and that'll help the South America field in scoring those points and trying to get themselves in the top 45 of the overall rankings at the end of the year, and then be invited to the grand finale, the World Cup final, so to speak, early next year. So big opportunity for enhanced points coefficient for the TCR South America drivers as well. But Montenegro won't be thinking about any of that one. He'll just see a big name international driver behind him and a desire to keep him very firmly at bay and help cement the 18-year-old's reputation as very much a superstar in the making, and a driver that you would do very well indeed to keep a firm eye on in the years ahead, because mark my words, Ignacio Montenegro is a star of the future. He's a star of today, to be fair, having taken 4 victories in South America, but that's Yana Tuone. So in the Palladini Racing Toyota carrying some damage. So Yana Tuone, where is he in the running order? Outside of the top 20 and soon to be in retirement, I'm sure. There we go, down pit lane, carrying damage in that car. So real shame there for Fabian Yana Tuone. Damage to the Palladini Toyota and sadly into retirement. Pizzini, look at that, 22nd position. Reigning champion, having a hard time in the Generation 1 Audi RS3 TCR, all the way outside the top 20, and Yana Tuone, there we go. A dejected looking Palladini Racing team trying to find where the problem lies, but that is, I am afraid to say it, retirement from this opening race of the weekend for Yana Tuone. Hopefully they can get that car fixed and we can go back out again and have a good result in the second race. Right, here's something interesting. 5 minutes 50 seconds left on the clock. Race leader Santiago Routier is starting to come into the traffic. That is Adalberto Baptista, car number 10 in the Toyota, staying very firmly out of the way. Good driving from Baptista, not impeding our 2 race leaders. With a little bit of traffic, he's courtesy of the dramas in the opening lap. That is why Baptista is being lapped at this stage. It's a very short tour of this circuit, a very quick track, very short in terms of distance, despite the extension into the final portion of the lap for this particular event. Has had a lot of work done to the Pinar circuit. A lot of investment has been made by the local government, the circuit operators, to bring it up to an international standard, and they've done very good work, especially in the trying weather conditions that we've experienced this weekend. So great work by the team. A new extension, 2 new corners, or a loop so to speak, added to the layout of the track. So it's a new layout and re-tarmacked as well, so quite new even to the local drivers in TCR South America. But nevertheless, work to be done for everybody to learn the pros and cons of going fast around this circuit, and none other than Santiago Routier have learnt those ones very well indeed. He's currently our race leader. 21.779, not the fastest lap of the race. That one goes to Nestor Girolami at this moment in time. But what's this? Norbert Michelisz trying to find a way past Jan Elishay, trying to get involved in this one as well. Elishay was repelled by Michelisz, and that's now putting very firmly Elishay off of the back of this pack. So great bit of defensive driving from our Championship second man in the Kumho TCR World Tour. Norbert Michelisz does not want to give away the points and position to Jan Elishay. Don't worry about Baptista behind. He's a lap in arrears, so he's not in the fight for track position. But while those two squabble amongst themselves, that gives a little bit of a comfort blanket to this man, Bebo Girolami. He doesn't have the Hyundai behind him now. This is a good opportunity for Girolami to go on the attack without fear of being passed himself, and you can see the body language of that Honda. Girolami now very much looking to dance the car around this circuit. He's getting aggressive on the back of the Continu racing machine. The Belgian driver, Frederick Vervies, although as soon as I say that one, Girolami runs very, very deep into the corner, compromises the exit, and that one's really destroyed the momentum of that Honda. So Girolami was going from the attack to very firmly the defence is further down the running order. Mikel Azcona finds his way past eventually Ignacio Montenegro, so Azcona into 8th. Montenegro drops down to 9th. Marcinkoir is the next man behind the Honda driver. So Montenegro losing one position. Casella still in 2nd in TCR South America, 11th overall, just ahead. Juan Angel Rosso in the Toyota in 12th position. Ted Bjork closes the gap now to just 1 second. Fastest lap last time around for the Swedish driver. Ted Bjork has not given up his hopes of trying to find a way past the Routier. Routier's going to find his way past Fabio Casagrande now. Casagrande comes off of the throttle in the Honda, gives the room, gives the low position to the two Lincoln Co race leading cars. So good driving from Brazilian driver Casagrande there to not impede our race leaders. Casagrande will have Frederick Vervies next up in a few moments time, the Honda circulating a little bit slower than you would hope is one of the trophy drivers in the TCR South America is Casagrande, and he's doing good work to stay firmly out of the way, does not want to influence the result in any way, shape and form. And with 1 minute 52 seconds left on the clock, there's not much racing left to do, but lights are ablaze from Ted Bjork. He has not given up on this one at all. Santiago Arruti thought he was going to have an easy drive to the flag. It's maybe got another thing coming, because Ted Bjork fancies his chances. Verviche flashing the lights. De Casagrande letting him know that a faster car is coming. You don't want to be following a slower car through this section. It's one line, incredibly high speed, and Verviche balked massively. Casagrande gets out of the way, but that's going to compromise Frederick Verviche significantly in the continuity. So Girolamo, from that mistake a few laps ago, may have a second bite of the cherry as the sun sets on this opening race of the weekend here in the Kumho TCR World Tour and TCR South America Banco BRB round 11 of the World Tour here at the Pinar circuit in Uruguay. We've hit the last minute of this race. It's 25 minutes plus 1 lap, so there's still going to be another couple of laps at least for Santiago Arruti to get the deal done and bring home this victory in front of his home crowd. Bjork now dropping a little further behind, lost a couple of tenths in that last lap. It's close, but not really close enough to mount an attack, and the wise money would be on Cyan Racing Link & Co, instructing these two to hold station, bring a 1-2 home for the team. That would be the smart move, but a racing driver, tell them to hold station. Often they have selective deafness, but I think Ted Bjork is a wily campaigner, an experienced campaigner, a former world champion. He'll play the game. He's not close enough to mount an attack at this moment in time, as we see Arruti now for the penultimate time coming through that incredible opening section of corners. Absolutely sensational section of corners here at Pinar, and the home crowd will be collectively holding their breath for local hero to bring home, to convert that pole position into a much needed race victory, a popular race victory. I'm sure it will be as well for Santiago Arruti on home soil. Here we go then. No challenge from behind, no traffic in front. This is a perfect scenario for Santi to bring this Cyan Racing Link & Co machine home. Ted Bjork behind. Frederick Verviche has a short 0.6 of a second gap from Nestor Girolamo, but Girolamo not quite able yet to find a way past. Current race leader TCR South America is Ignacio Montenegro in 10th position, just ahead of Juan Manuel Casella in 11th place. Juan Angel Rosso 12th. That is our podium for the TCR South America field at this moment in time. 10, 11 and 12 Esteban Gurriere, the guest driver, in 13th as he qualified. Gurriere qualified 12th. He's lost one off the grid. But here we go. Arruti crosses the line now. This is the final lap of the race. The board that Santiago Arruti, behind the checkered flag, wanted to see most. A clear track in front of him. The crowd, the expectant crowd, the 20,000 plus spectators here at the Pinar circuit cheering on their man, Santiago Arruti, and he has done everything he needed to do and more in this race. Converted from pole position into a race lead, scampered away from the squabble impact behind in the opening corners, and then it's simply a case of managing the car to the checkered flag. So for the final time, coming through the back portion of the lap here at Pinar, Santiago Arruti, you can almost hear the cheers as the crowd cheer him on the final lap. Ted Bjork's behind, but he'll be keeping a watching brief at the back of his teammate. I'm sure Bjork, for his own safety, probably doesn't want to launch an attack on this final lap, because everybody's here for Santiago Arruti. This will be an emotional interview at the end of the race, I am absolutely sure, from the Uruguayan driver. The fans are hungry for local talent to do well, and Santi getting his Kumho TCR World Tour Challenge back on track as well, with what will be his second victory of the season. Santiago Arruti through the final corner, accelerates for the final time. The checkered flag waves, and he is a winner on home soil in the Kumho TCR World Tour and TCR South America opening race in Uruguay. Fantastic result for Arrutier, waving to the crowd. In second position, teammate Ted Bjork. Frederick Vervisch crosses the line in that third place ahead of Nesta. Girolamo, Norbert Mikulits in fifth from championship rival Jan Elishay. Rob Huff in seventh. Mikel Azcona eighth. Marcin Hual moves up to ninth at the end of the race, ahead of Ignacio Montenegro, rounding out the top 10, and with it winning the TCR South America classification of this race from Juan Manuel Casella in 11th, and Esteban Gurrieri on the final lap manages to leverage his way past Juan Angel Rosso to take the bottom step of the TCR South America podium. Rosso in 13th position ahead of Bernardo Java in 14th, Raffaele Suzuki in 15th, Galid Osman 16th, Frederick Balbi in 17th, Pedro Cardoza 18th, Manuel Sapag in 19th, and the last driver within the top 20 is Diego Nunes. A great race, I promise you, at the start of this broadcast. A great race we have just enjoyed. Fantastic performance from all of our drivers in the field, not least of which that man, Santiago Arrutier, wanted this victory more than any race in his career, and the fans have been rewarded there. You see the provisional standing. Santiago Arrutier is our race winner. A Cyan Racing Lincoln Co. 1-2, ably backed up by Ted Bjork, having another very good, strong weekend in second position. Frederick Vervisch rounding out the podium finishers, and Ignacio Montenegro winning the TCR South America race from Juan Manuel Casella, and Esteban Gurrieri on the final lap, sneaking in for a podium return on his return to TCR car racing here this weekend on loan from the Van Wall team in the World Endurance Championship. Fabian Iannituoni we saw with some damage on the car in pit lane, and unfortunately 3 other retirements joining the driver in what has been a frantic, dramatic, exciting and purely quite incredible race here in South America, and we'll do it all again a little bit later on this afternoon, so put a date in your diary. 17:45 CEST, 12:45 local time. We'll go racing again for the second and final time in Uruguay before up in sticks and moving over to Argentina next weekend at the very quick street circuit at San Luis for 2 further races in what has been a phenomenal Kumho TCR World Tour season so far. Arrutier there cheering on to the crowd, the home crowd playing up to the home crowd. They do love their Uruguayan drivers, and Santiago Arrutier is very much a hero to all of them. Everywhere he goes, he's mobbed by the fans, and enjoy this cool down lap, Sante, because you absolutely deserve it. It has been a sensational performance all weekend long, and when the pressure is at its greatest, when we go racing, Santiago Arrutier has delivered in fine style. A champion's drive from the local hero, pole position, race victory. Does he get the fastest lap as well? No, not quite. In fact, I tell a lie, fastest lap as well, a 20.774. So the all 3 boxers very firmly ticked by Santiago Arrutier. Victory, pole position, fastest lap in the opening race of the weekend, but he starts in 10th this afternoon, so there's a lot of work to do still for the Kumho TCR World Tour points and the world ranking points. Santiago has a lot of overtaking to do, but a man in this form and a man with that pace, very possible indeed that another big result will come his way. So here we go. The crowd lining Parc Fermé in the centre of the circuit towards the fan zone area of the track. Man of the moment unbuttons his belts, gets out of the car, jumps on the roof, no doubt. Yes, there we go. To the cheers of the crowd, they like that one. They like that one a lot. Handshake and a hug from Ted Bjork. Bjork, another driver, very, very impressive this weekend. A very strong result for Ted Bjork in second position. Helps his championship standings as well. Esteban Gurrieri comes in. Big hug for his friend and rival. Congratulations on home soil, Casella and Montenegro that we see there. Casella the first one up to the back of a Montenegro handshake. Casella as well there. Good performance. Congratulations, great sportsmanship from those 2 drivers who themselves had incredible performance, did themselves massively proud on the world stage to be very firmly in the mix of the World Tour drivers and taking their own first and second positions in the TCR South America Banco BRB Championship standings, which of course is their main concern this weekend, is their own national championship, and that's a great result. Big hugs, Santiago Urrutia. Fantastic stuff. The president of Uruguay that we can see there, that is Luis Lecazar Poe, going to hug the local hero. The president of the country is here to hug our race winner and shake his hand. That's how much it means to the South American people. They love their sport, they love their motor racing and their touring car racing, and they have come out to show the support to the championships, to their stars, and to the European drivers that join as well. And it's been an absolute honour and a privilege to see just how much passion they've got for the race. Let's have a quick interview with our race winner.
Santi, I can't imagine a better weekend, pole position and a winning in a race. Tell me your feelings.
Yeah, really good. Super happy. Been amazing to win in my home race, first time qualifying and everything. So Cyan Gimen also comes since the beginning. So thank you to my mechanics. It's really good. It's been a long time we're not racing outside Europe, and yeah, we come here to Uruguay for the first time. The crowd has been amazing. So super happy. I really enjoying, and thank you very much.
En español ahora para toda la gente acá que vino a verte, alentarte, algunas palabras.
Muchas gracias a toda la gente que vino a acompañarme. Vamos arriba Uruguay nomás. Muchas gracias. Ustedes hicieron el show, fue tremendo. Gracias por apoyarme, las buenas y las malas. Muchas gracias de corazón, de verdad, muchas gracias. Lo aprecio mucho, gracias. Gracias.
Felicitaciones.
Gracias.
Our race winner enjoying that one very much indeed. The cheer of the crowd as well as the addresses. The crowd has said this so many times, but the passion, the emotion from the fans really drives on. And let's have a quick word now with Ignacio of Montenegro, the winner of TCR South America.
It wasn't looking like the best weekend, but at the end you can get the win. Tell me about your feelings here.
Well, yeah, it was a tough race, you know. We don't have the pace that the TCR World Tour have. So, yeah, we pushed to the end. We couldn't defend Ascona, Maquingua as well. So, yeah, we did a good result with the TCR South America. So, yeah, it was a good result.
Ahora en español, lo mismo más o menos. Victoria, al fin y al cabo, no parecía ser un fin de semana sencillo y se terminó dando un gran resultado.
Sí, como decía recién, no tenemos el ritmo que ellos tienen con nosotros de nueva generación. Nos costó bastante pelear contra ellos, pero bueno, pude aguantar hasta un poquito del final y ganar en mi categoría.
Gracias y felicitaciones.
Gracias.
Young man at 18 years old, I will strongly disagree with the statement that he doesn't have the pace of the World Tour drivers. I think he's been incredibly impressive this weekend, as has Juan Manuel Casella as well. Both drivers very much in the heat of the battle, showing that they're more than capable of racing with the best in the world in touring car racing, as has frankly the entire TCR South America grid. The level of driving talent and skill in this championship is incredibly impressive to me, and I think they've really done themselves proud throughout the course of this weekend and in this opening race of the weekend as well. And of course we go again this afternoon, a reverse grid. Plenty of learnings will be taken on board, dissected, addressed and changes made for race 2, so expect another rip-roaring race here in South America. But Montenegro is the winner of the South America contingent, 10th overall, and very, very impressive alongside Juan Manuel Casella and Esteban Gurrieri rounding out that podium for TCR South America. Gurrieri, of course, returning to TCR competition for this weekend and getting faster, frankly, every time he gets on board that Toyota Corolla TCR. So seriously impressive from those drivers. Keep an eye out for all of those names going forward, because they are, especially in the form of Montenegro and Casella, stars in the making. Very articulate young men, very fast in their race car. The Squadron Martino puts a very impressive team together as well. The two Hondas, remember, previous generation Hondas. It's not the latest car that Beppo Girolamo is driving. It is the established Honda Civic Type R that we've seen in competition previously in previous years around the world. So all the more impressive that a previous gen car can be up there and fighting for the top positions. Our podium ceremony will be taking place in a few moments' time. That is the centre stage I spoke about, where we've had live music and shows over the course of the weekend. We had a couple of bands on last night that were received very well, despite the windy, cold conditions here in Uruguay. A nice crowd out there to watch the live performances, keeping the fans entertained alongside a really strong undercard of support racers all the way through this weekend. So the drivers are getting ready to do the podium. We'll have 3 podiums, of course, the overall podium, Kumho TCR World Tour podium, and TCR South America podium as well. TCR South America Trophy podium, should I say, as well, in a few moments' time. Everybody's scrambling for the best photograph position, and then of course when these cars are out of park firmly, taken through scrutineering back in the garages, the pit lanes opened up for the fans to get up close and personal with the field. But now our drivers are starting to make their way to the podium positions. Frederick Vervish in 3rd place. Ted Bjork, handshake and a cheer of the crowd, but not quite as big as Sam. Ted's a good guy, trying to get the crowd going. There's the man of the moment, Santiago Arruti. Will he do a Tom Coronel-esque leap from the podium? No, he's just soaking up the moment here on home soil to be the race winner. Fantastic, a bow to the crowd, and so you should as well. Santiago Arruti, that's a great performance. President of Uruguay now, Luis Lacachapo, coming up onto the podium to award the trophies to our driver. The president of the country is awarding the trophies to our top 3 drivers. It's a big moment for all of these drivers, massive pride. And there we go, 3rd position to Frederick Vervish. Cheers to the crowd. Belgian driver Frederick Vervish having a very solid season for ComTU Racing. Another podium position. 2nd place, Ted Bjork. A wry smile, he knows there's no cheers for anybody apart from this man, president of Uruguay, and the star of Uruguay. Down for a hug, beautiful scenes there. Santiago Arruti, race winner on home soil. Family photograph at the front of the field. And now for the champagne, the ticker tape sprays, the champagne sprays. The crowd love these scenes. Fantastic here on the podium at El Pinar. Santiago Arruti on home soil takes the victory, sprays the champagne. Have to get that suit clean because we're racing again in a few hours. But what an emotional teammate Ted Bjork covers in the bubbly. Deserves every bit of that, because that was a great performance indeed. So the flares go off, lap up the atmosphere for a few more moments for our top 3 finishers, and then it'll be time for the podium of our TCR South America Banco BRB drivers, headed by Ignacio Montenegro, Juan Manuel Casella and Esteban Gurriere. Our World Tour drivers exit to the side of the stage. Many media interviews, no doubt, will go the way of Santiago Arruti. I have no chance of finding a way to get a quote off him after this broadcast, but I'll give it a try anyway. I'm sure he's going to have pretty much every one of the 20,000 people here at the circuit wanting a selfie, an autograph and a handshake from our star driver. But here we go. Here are our South American drivers. In 3rd position, Esteban Gurriere. There on the podium for the Bratton Tito team, the new Toyota Corolla. In 2nd place, there we have Juan Manuel Casella. Another good performance, another good young man as well. Very 2nd year in TCR competition, already showing signs of being very much a star driver. And then our race winner, TCR South America, Ignacio Montenegro, win number 5 of the season, the TCR South America Championship leader. Young man, 18 years of age. Very strong performance indeed from Montenegro. Top step of the podium once again, top 10 overall. And now Julio Maglione will be handing out the trophies. There it is. Trophy on his return to touring cars for Guerrieri. Good result there. A hug and a handshake for Casella in second position. And the trophy from Giovanni Guerrera for our second place man. Trophy aloft. Cheers the crowd. Another very strong performance just outside the overall top 10, but a great performance nevertheless for Casella. And then in 10th position, and our winner of TCR South America. Trophy brought to the stage, Nacio Montenegro and Fabiana Ecclestone, FIA Vice President. Kissing a hug and a victory and the points that go with it for his TCR South America standings. Another very impressive race win and race performance from all three of these drivers. And now the big one. Time for the champagne. Outstanding stuff. And just a quick reminder again, if you missed it earlier on, of course, this is race 1, rounds 11 of the Kumho TCR World Tour. We're back in action again at 12:45 local, 17:45 CEST. So make sure that you tune into the TCR TV app and, of course, TCR TV on YouTube for the second race of the weekend. And now the final podium of this morning is for the Trophy Cup of TCR South America. Parc Ferme still very busy down there as the teams just go celebrate. Ted Björk, you can just see shaking hands. But here we go. The Trophy Cup. Baptista, oh, there on the podium. He's enjoying this moment in second position. Casagrande, our race winner, in first position as well. The two drivers that finished there, Federico Pontere, president of TCR South America, gives the trophy to Casagrande, our race winner. Baptista in second position. Do they spray the champagne? I thought they were going to take it with them then. No, they don't. There we go. Champagne sprayed for our Trophy Cup podium finishers. Great performance as well from both of those drivers. Only two drivers finished in that classification in first and second place. And there are the World Tour standings. Santiago Arrutier is our winner from Ted Bjork, and Frederick Vervisch rounds out the podium. Nesta Girolami, Norbert Mikulits, and in sixth position, Jan Elishay. And then for TCR South America, Ignacio Montenegro, 10th overall, and race winner in South America from one, Manuel Casella in 11th, and 12th, and the third step of the podium, Esteban Guerrieri takes that position. Great stuff. Adalberto Baptista, the winner of the trophy. Fabio Casagrande, both Brazilian drivers, in second position. Jan Antuoni and Maglione, etc., retire at the end of this one. But that's been the first race of the weekend, and a great race it has been, I'm sure you will all agree. And if you liked that one, there's more coming your way very soon indeed, as we see the star of the race, Santiago Arrutier, never looked to be challenged off of the line. Bebo Girolami decided to start this one with his elbows out, but couldn't find a way to make the move stick, and eventually dropped himself down into fourth position, just behind Frederick Vervisch. Another lightning start, another podium for his record. This is Girolami trying to find a way past Ted Bjork, achieving that way past. Bjork gave him a little kiss though that got the Honda sideways, and that allowed himself and of course Frederick Vervisch to navigate their way back through once again. Jan Elishay was on the move earlier on, as was many of the South America drivers. Girolami from second, back down to fourth position, but nevertheless a very strong result for the Honda Civic drivers. That car continues to get stronger and stronger each race that we have. Further back down the running order, we had a bit of drama on the opening laps, but most of the drivers made it through. Santiago Arrutier had to navigate his way through some traffic in this race, but absolutely nothing looked like it could undo what would be a banner performance from the local driver in the opening race of this weekend. Further down the running order, Norbert Mikulits had a quiet but effective race to finish ahead of Kumho TCR World Tour Championship rival Jan Elishay. They crossed the line in fifth and sixth position. Norbert Mikulits closing that gap's point, but he will behind his championship rival coming in to the second and final race of the weekend later on this afternoon. The Hungarian driver knows all about fandom, knows all about having fans flocking to him from the Hungaroring last time out, but it's Santiago Urrutier's time this time around in front of the home crowd to take the adoration of the fans lining the circuit and watching the broadcast. At home, Bebo Girolamo gave his all but couldn't get on the podium, and Juan Angel Rosso on the final lap loses the bottom step of the podium in TCR South America to Esteban Gurriere, but nevertheless, Juan Angel Rosso, a very strong performance in the Paladina Racing Toyota. The other one of Fabio Iannituone, unfortunately, Fabian Iannituone ended in retirement courtesy of damage in the Toyota car. So Iannituone, one of the four retirements in this opening race of the weekend, but no such drama for our race leader and home hero, Santiago Urrutia, at the front of the field, while Mikulits and Elishay were battling out and trading paint. Urrutia did the job at the front of the field, and that has been Uruguay Race 1 in a nutshell. We will be back again this afternoon. Make sure you don't miss out. From me, Paul Jeffrey, from everybody in the Kumho TCR World Tour and TCR South America team, thank you for watching, and we'll see you all again in a few short hours where we go again at El Pinar. Take care, enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you soon.